G'day and welcome to the next tutorial. This one looks at the fire history last burnt data layer. Now in the last video I showed you how to download this, so hopefully you're up to this stage where you've got one of your study areas and you've got the fire history data layer. I don't want to worry about these other three layers for now, I'm just focusing on this one. Now you noticed, well first of all, try left clicking on some of these and it tells you the year. So 2009 was this fire, 1983, 1962. The other thing you want to have a look at is this one was a bushfire, whereas this one was a burn, which may have been a government planned burn. So not all of these are wildfires. Some of these have been burnt, but intentionally burnt. You'll notice there's different colors. Now I've arranged this data for you when I downloaded it. I've arranged it based on color. The brighter the color, the brighter the yellow I should say, they're the recent fires, 2015, and the darker the red color are the older fires, so 1962, and the orange ones are somewhere in the middle. Now if I expand this data layer, you can have a look at all these different fires. Those are all the ones that there's data for. You don't really need to have a look at all those individually, but you can see if I click on this one here, it takes me down to this one here in 2015. Now one thing you can do is try and estimate, okay, what percentage of this study area has been burnt recently. So we're only looking at yellow colors, and you might have a look at the yellow and think, okay, maybe 30% of this study area has been burnt recently, whereas maybe 60% all of this area has not been burnt recently at all. Maybe another 10 or 20% has been burnt a lot in the past, but not recently. You should start thinking about maybe why hasn't this area burned. I mean, if there's a bushfire, this one was an actual bushfire, well then it becomes out of control. But if we're looking at areas where planned burn has happened, well, planned burn only happens on public area. So this farming area might be private land, and so therefore the government doesn't do any planned burns on that area. So that's maybe why that area hasn't burnt. That might be something that makes it vulnerable or not vulnerable. I'll let you make that decision. If you want to be a little bit more in depth with your estimates, I showed you last time in an earlier video how to calculate areas. So if I select this burn in 2015, I can cut that data, or actually I should copy it. I shouldn't cut it, so I'll just paste that in there again so it doesn't disappear. Sorry, I'll paste that in there. Here it is again. I'll copy it this time, and I'll open up Earth Point again, calculate polygon area, and I can paste it in here, and I'll turn it to square kilometers again, and I can export to Excel, which I did last time, or I can just view it on a web page, and you can write down these areas by hand and calculate things using a calculator if you prefer. So the area is 2.3 kilometers. So that's the area that was burnt in this 2015 fire. So you can do that for a few of the different fires. So I can have a look at the extent of the 2019 fire, and you can start to work out what sort of proportion has been burnt recently. Or once again, you can trace your own polygons around here and do the same sort of thing. Or you can just make a visual estimate, which would probably be just as useful in this particular instance.